Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular session for Wednesday, June 11th. I'll call the meeting to order at 5:15. Excuse me. Would you all please rise and join us in the pledge? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Rose, please conduct the roll.
Certainly. Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Bizzaio.
Here.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Lemoy.
Here.
Mr. Kretzer.
Here.
Mr. Courier.
Here.
Mr. Randall.
Present.
Always gotta be good. Mr. Timmons. Here. Mr. Waldron.
Here.
Good old form.
Thank you. All legislators have received a copy of the minutes for May 28th. If there are no deletions, corrections, I will accept a motion for the meeting. Motion by Legislator Hall, second by Legislator Kretzer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. One of the good things we get to do every year as legislators is present these awards, scholarships, to certainly deserving students. And each year, the off-track vetting committee awards 2 scholarships, one for a student attending SUNY Plattsburgh and another for a student attending Clinton Community College. The students selected must have a grade point average of at least 85% and have demonstrated leadership abilities, along with many other things. And the legislature would like to congratulate the SUNY Plattsburgh recipient and the Clinton County Community College recipient. And we're going to call them both to the podium, and Legislator Waldron and Legislator Bizzaio will present the respective scholarships. Are the folks here tonight somewhere, Heidi? Oh, okay. Would you both mind going up to the podium, please? And Legislators Waldron and Bizzaio will meet you there. If anybody wants to take a picture, come right down here, wander around, get comfortable, it's fine. You don't have to stay over there. Take your time, get what you want. I got stage ready to go. We'll let David go first.
So I'd like to congratulate John Bourgeois from Beacontown School. During his high school career, John was an active part of the school community. He was on the football team, and he was a supervisor of the school store at the Eagle Barn. John will graduate from Beacontown Central School on Friday, June 27th, and will be attending Clinton Community College in the fall. He'll be one of the members of the first class to attend at SUNY Plattsburgh campus, so that's going to be pretty awesome for you, I'm sure. So the legislature would like to present to you a check for $500 for your education, and a little plaque that you'll be able to hold it.
Get in a picture, legislator.
There you go.
There you go.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Legislator Waldron.
Yes, with us tonight we have Alexis here. During her high school career, Alexis was a member of the volleyball, basketball, and softball teams, the National Honor Society, and the Multicultural Club. Alexis Wells also volunteered for several different organizations and was an intern at Morrisonville Elementary School in 2024. Alexis will graduate from Saranac Central School on Friday, June 27th, and will be attending SUNY Plattsburgh in the fall. Congratulations, Alexis, and we all wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. And here is your, and also your, good luck to you, and thank you for your hard work and representing Saranac.
Move away from the podium. There you go.
The organization.
Thank you.
Now, I will say you don't have to stay for the rest of this, so feel free to leave Whatever you want. You're welcome to stay.
But you can leave now or whenever you'd like.
Thank you again. Congratulations. All right, I will now recognize anyone in the audience who wish to share their thoughts and concerns with the legislature. As we do, please raise your hand if you wish to be recognized. State your name and address for the record. And we have 1, 2, 3, I missed 4. We got 4 total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All on the same topic. Heather, and
Negative.
I'm sorry, sir.
Different topic.
Okay. So if you don't mind, we'll go with the majority over there, and you'll be second. Okay. All right. Who would like to go first? Go right ahead, man.
So my name is Dr. Kendra Babby Durant, and I am from Legislative District 1. Do you need the actual, my physical address, or is that acceptable?
That's acceptable.
Okay. So before I begin, I'd like to formally request a reasonable accommodation under the Americans with Disabilities Act. While all my disabilities may not be immediately visible, I live with physical and neurological conditions that affect the pace and processing of my communication. I have significant hearing limitations and an auditory processing disorder, and my hearing aids are beeping, so if anybody needs to talk to me, go like this, because if I'm not looking at you and you just say something, I'm not going to know who it came from. So, my disorders impact how I receive and process verbal information in real time. I also have a speech fluency disorder, a stutter, which you probably noticed, and it may cause me to repeat words or stumble during my delivery. I may need a few additional moments to ensure my words are fully heard and understood. I'm not requesting unlimited time, minuscule amount over, just a fair and accessible opportunity to be heard. Lastly, I wish to disclose that I underwent a medical procedure the day before yesterday. If I need to step out early, it is not a sign of disrespect towards any of you. It simply means I'm managing pretty much the best that I can, and I'd really rather be home in bed right now. So, does anybody have an issue with me taking just an extra moment?
Go ahead.
No, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Dr. Kendra Babby Durant, and this is Lola, the service kibble. She is my service dog, a medical tool I depend on. She literally saves my life daily. She's my partner. She's also an abuse survivor. How I treat her now cannot erase the fact that she lived years of her life tethered outside, alone, scared, in silence. Lola was once used as a breeder. She was tethered 24/7 on an 8-foot chain, neglected. I know because I saw her chain. I went to her abuser's house one day after one of his dogs had gotten free and chased my son on his bicycle. I played mama bear that day. I was not very kind. And I got to see the dogs that they had. After seeing the absolutely disgusting conditions, I reported her abuser to the local police. There was nothing that they could do. No laws were being broken. When Lola no longer had any value, her abuser further degraded her existence. She showed up at my house covered in blood. Her abuser had cut her ID tag out from between her shoulder blades and fired buckshot into her neck. One bullet tore through the base of her ear, traveled through her mouth, and exited out her cheek. I posted the video of her on Facebook. In 15 minutes, I had 7 messages from people begging me not to return her, as her abuser had bragged to them about what he had done. After tying her up her entire life, breeding her 3 times by the time she was 4, he shot her and left her for dead in the woods behind my house. I know it was 12 gauge number 1 buckshot because I removed one of the pellets when I stitched her up. As she sits here tonight, she's a sturdy, she's a sturdy 65 pounds. The day she showed up, she just finished weaning a litter and she was 32 pounds. Today she wears her scars as a testament to what happens when we look away too long. She shouldn't have those scars. No dog should. No dog should live their life how she did. Let me reiterate. Lola had been abused before she was shot. She'd been tethered outside 24/7 on an 8-foot chain, surviving in a circle. How much space do you think 8 feet is to move around for a dog on a chain? It's about 200 square feet. To put that into perspective, that's smaller than a single-car garage. That's less than the average walk-in closet in many new homes. And even if that space includes a doghouse, it's not much protection from sun, rain, cold, heat, or predators. Just a fixed chain in the hard ground. Lola's doghouse consisted of a plastic tote that had a hole cut in the side of it. And for a year after she lived with me, every time she'd see a toad, she'd shake and then she'd climb on top of it and shake some more and pee all over. So I'm here as a disabled person who depends. I'm sorry. It's very difficult to think about how she showed up at my house with her neck bleeding and my kids scared because they didn't understand why this poor dog, who's so sweet, somebody would do that to her. I'm here as a disabled person who depends on a dog for survival, and I use her as a tool. She is a working dog, but I'm also here as someone who believes we all are animals better than chains and shadows. A 24-hour tether ban isn't regulatory overreach. It isn't a Republican versus Democrat issue. I'm a registered Republican. She is a working dog. That is not the problem. It isn't about taking rights away from decent, responsible dog owners. It doesn't stop somebody from owning a dog, having a working dog, having a regular dog, having a dog for protection. It doesn't stop someone from hooking their dog up when necessary. It regulates harmful conditions and bans suffering. It protects dogs from being forgotten hour after hour, chained to the ground, waiting for food, water, shelter, or a kind word. Let me be clear, tethering a dog 24 hours a day is not just outdated, it's inhumane. Studies by Cornell University, the CDC, and the ASPCA show that prolonged tethering leads to physical injury, psychological trauma, and increased aggression. It makes a dog 8 times more likely to bite when they get free. The dogs that wander around and they bite people are usually ones that have been tethered and they got loose, not just because somebody opened the door and their pet walked out. Why do they do this? Because being constantly chained breaks the bond between a dog and a human. It isolates them from proper socialization. It damages their neurological process. It destroys their body and their mind. It is not training. It is not care. It is containment by cruelty. This is not just about dogs like Lily. It's about our community values. What we tolerate reflects who we are. Have a public hearing. Support the tether ban for Lola, for dogs that didn't survive. Show the world that Clinton County stands for compassion, not cruelty. Be the kind of leaders that we want to have. Because if you vote no on implementing a ban, what you're saying is simple. That someone's right to neglect and abuse their dog is more important than that dog's right to live. And that says a lot about you as people. Thank you for your time. I am open to answer any questions if anybody on the legislature or anyone else has any.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Who would like to go next?
JJ, you want to go?
Next
Is it a
speaker.
local case? Yeah. You live in Clinton County?
Yeah, she's Clinton County. Live in Angelville Road.
Hi, my name's Jessie
Could
Renee.
you do me a favor, put that microphone a little closer
Sure.
to you? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. My name's Jessie Renee, and I live in Morrisonville. I'm here to support the dogs. I'm not here to support Democrats, Republicans, an individual person, a group of people. I'm just somebody who happens to care about the reason we're talking about. And so when I look back in the last year, or I hear about the history of events of how we handled this situation, I'm the type of person that even in my own life I go, how could I have done better? And no one wants to stand up here and make any of you feel like you did a bad job, but you could have done better. And one of those things that could have happened is we could have had votes when everyone was present. I don't know if you guys would want a vote on something that mattered to you on a night that half of the people that would support you were not here. But if this vote would have happened when all of you were here, like Patty had asked that night, we would have had a public hearing. And I'm not saying it would have ended any, I don't know how that would have ended. For me, it's about giving a voice to the community to come and have an actual chance to discuss with you guys, which is what you were elected for. What happened between then and now is there's been a lot of hurt feelings. There's been a lot of personal attacks on both sides. I'm not trying to point fingers at anyone here, but on both sides. Because it became personal when it shouldn't have. And there are times where I wondered if this was even about the animals anymore, if this was about who knew who, what, and I'm to blame for this. I personally feel like I came to a meeting where I acted out of character, to you personally. So I apologize for that. But it is hard not to take things personal when you feel like you're not being heard.
And now it's more about ego. And I know that you guys are voting tonight. I also have done the math in my head, and it doesn't work out well. It's either a 5-5 tie, which is no, or a 6-4, which is no. And that's upsetting, because I can't go back in time, and I can't change how maybe I insulted you, or how you insulted her, or we can do that all day long. But give the people of the community a chance to just come and voice their opinion. That's all I'm asking, is let's forget the last year and a half. Everyone, it's been a nightmare for everyone involved. And let's get over ourselves. And I'm the first one to admit I could have done better. I'm asking the same from you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Jennifer Jewett, and I'm from Champlain, New York. I brought my American flag because the last time we checked, we do live in America. And as a retired Air Force member who is 100% disabled, I honestly never thought I'd have to fight for people in this county to have a voice. This resolution vote may mean absolutely nothing to you, but this means everything to us. We have been working on this law since December of 2023 without your cooperation. The dog I was initially trying to save is now dead, having spent its 11.5 years on a chain. The people of Clinton County deserve a public hearing and deserve to be heard. After doing all the work, we were first denied a public hearing back in October. We were the first ever to be denied a public hearing in Clinton County's history. That was 9 months ago. It took us 9 months to put this resolution back up for a vote again. In that time, the entire county was banned from even discussing this law in any regular session meeting, and no one stood up and disagreed with this decision. None of you have given us any feedback on this law in front of you, before or after it was written, while none of you had to do any work to even create it. This can go two ways tonight. You could vote for a public hearing and leave here looking like decent human beings, or you vote this down, and those that do have to live with how you look to the people of Clinton County. I'm not giving up. We are asking for an animal protection law that is similar to one that has been in place in Essex for 8 years now. In some parts of the county, they've had similar law. In some parts of the country, they've had similar laws for 20 years now. If it takes replacing some of you in the upcoming elections, we are willing to do that. As we have explained, dogs need more than just food, shelter, and water, and that's all that's required per the New York State Ag and Market Law. That's why we are here. That's why we are fighting so hard and not giving up. There's nothing within the current law that says a dog can't spend its entire life chained up outside. Once you have witnessed a dog living this way, it has an effect on you. You feel helpless because you can't do anything to help under the current law. The dog tether law we are proposing was a true collaboration. It was not written by a county legislator. It was instead written by a team made up of a town supervisor, a town board member, a DCO weighed in, a judge, a few attorneys, a few sheriff's deputies, and private citizens. A lot of research and time went into creating this law, all because it's important and it means a lot to us. I've made countless attempts to get everyone's feedback on this law, and you have had this law for 3 months now, and not one of you have raised any concerns about the wording and how it's written. As someone who has had dogs for 30 years, I would call this law Basic Dog Ownership 101, and we do not need 17 separate laws within one county. As more and more towns are creating a law because you're stalling, it is creating more and more confusion every day. We need one easy-to-follow countywide law, and we need you, the legislators, to start listening to the people of Clinton County. Last paragraph. Finally, I want to just explain one section of the law. Within the law, we included that the owner must be home when the dog is chained outside. That's so the owner can supervise the dog. This was included for both the dog's safety and for the public safety. A chained dog can get wrapped up in its own run or attacked by other animals. A dog has nowhere to go to escape danger when it's on a chain. A dog can also break its tether, chase people by walking by, get hit in the road, or cause an accident. If no one is home and the dog breaks its chain, there's no one to stop the dog from running loose for hours. God forbid the dog is aggressive. It's important that the owner be home to intervene if something happens while the dog is on its chain. If someone wants to leave their dog outside unsupervised, an outdoor kennel or fence is an option. And Betty Lou had come in late. She was planning to speak as our fourth person, if that's all right.
It's coming late.
She's here now.
Oh, okay, no, that's fine, that's fine.
Betty Lou LaJoy, I live in the town of Plattsburgh. I've been before the legislature before to speak about the United Nations, because some people say it's just an animal bill. Who cares? Animals aren't important. But the United Nations, and within the last 10 years, actually studied animal cruelty and how it affected the rest of society. And they know that it's linked to rape, domestic violence, other sexual assaults. So it is important. It's very important. It's linked to a lot of other issues that are costing us money. But if we look at recently what's happened, I started lobbying for animal protection back in 1987 in the state of Virginia. And more bills keep getting passed, simple bills. This is a simple bill. If we look at May 28th, Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed 2 new bills into law with tougher penalties for abusers and protection for pets that are left behind in a disaster. One was Troopers Law. It makes it a 3rd-degree felony to leave a dog tied up during a natural disaster. That was when a state trooper found a dog in Tampa tied to a fence, and the dog was, the water was up to the dog's chest, Hurricane Milton. And then he signed Dexter's Law, which toughens penalties for convicted animal abusers and creates a public database of animal abusers. And then if we go back 2 years ago to the Biden administration, the Department of Justice sued a research company in Virginia, in Vigo, for violating numerous federal laws and shut down, some of you probably heard about it. They shut down a beagle breeding facility. 4,000 beagles were freed. In May 7th, 2025, just recently, Doge with Elon Musk, he posted about NIH closing a beagle experiment lab. And right after he made that post, that laboratory was closed down. As far back as November 25th, 2019, President Trump signed the PACT Act, Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture Act, and it makes animal cruelty a federal crime. So we're behind. I don't really understand, frankly, what the problem is to have a public hearing. I don't get it. Animal laws keep getting passed over and over again, whether it's a Republican or Democratic administration. It's bipartisan. People vote on these laws. I was a lobbyist. I worked on election campaigns. I know people come out to vote for these laws. So that's just a reminder of the most recent animal legislation that's been passed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Does that complete the speakers over here, right? One more? We got that one.
My name is Ben Martin. I live here in Plattsburgh on Fort Brown Road. And I thought we were coming here tonight to support a tether law for dogs, because dogs are great. But apparently we're just supporting a public hearing. So whether you support that or not, vote for the public hearing. You can bring in your own people on how this tether law would be bad. You know, we're just asking for information here. So, I mean, all I want to say is let the people speak. If you're, honestly, you should have a public hearing on every law and regulation. Whatever people want, whatever legislators want to bring up, whatever people want to pass in the county, it should have a public hearing. It's so, whether you support this or not, which I certainly do, bring the people out. Let's find out how what more people think. You can turn it down later if you don't agree with what people say. Just have the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you all. Moving over here. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Barker, Plattsburgh, New York. I have a few items I want to bring to your attention. First, I have a concern for some unregistered vessels that operate on county waters and the potential for non-compliant marine sanitation devices, holding tanks for septic waste, human, being utilized. I have here a letter I sent to the county sheriff's office on May 22nd and then faxed to the Clinton County fax number on June 6th, 2025. Not knowing who, if anybody, has read this important subject matter, I am submitting a copy now for you all to be aware of this. For support at a local marina in this county, there are at least 2 unregistered motorized vehicles in operation there. Off script, if I took my license plate off my car and drove around and no police, law enforcement touched me, that's what's going on locally. And it's also tax revenue for registering vessels. Second, I am very concerned about the federal and aid cuts that is out of our control but needs to be considered. One result may be the loss of essential air service funding for the 5 North Country airports. It would be reasonable to ask New York State to fund any loss of this federal aid and maintain the airline service in our region. I calculate that with this huge New York State budget of $254 billion, a mere $31 million or so would support all 5 of our local airports. You should ask Hochul for that. This is a very small amount compared to the universal free school meals program at $340 million, according to the website, that is to be given to each and every New York State student, regardless of need and financial ability? Ridiculous. It could be called the New York State Economic Air Service. You still keep EAS, okay? Program, since without such aids, some communities and airports would be in dire financial shape. Certainly, there are many other support areas where money could be reconsidered and redirected. Thirdly, I am aware of the proposed dog restraint law. I did not know this was going to be a big thing tonight. I have read the original document and find it overly restrictive, and I love dogs, I have dogs. Here I have said copy with my suggestion for changes, ink changes. I'll give it to the county administrator when I'm done. I submit this to you for consideration. It downplays a lot of the strict wording. We've got to have a county good law, and if the towns want to be more restrictive, kind of like federal and state law, so be it. But we should have a good, reasonable law. And I'm Air Force background, I'm an airline pilot, retired. I follow rules and regulations, but they've got to be reasonable. Not every dog is chained up. Mine is never restrained. She's good.
More effective than I'm talking about.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a copy of that. Lastly, there is valid concern by the residents of the ever-increasing cost of our property taxes. How this is spent should also be of our concern. For years, there have been unchecked area of commercial and industrial growth resulting in a claimed housing shortage. My concern watching several large tanker trucks daily loaded with human waste leaving the Dock Street treatment plant is to have you plan for infrastructure upgrades and use our tax monies wisely. And the reason I say that is I looked online, it was at the May 14th meeting, there were a lot of people protesting on property taxes. Mine went up, I did counter one of them, and I prevailed because the assessor, town of Plattsburgh, was off the wall, okay? And he's losing his, apparently there's some problems there. And I thank you for your attention to these matters.
Thank you.
Mrs. Earl, I'm going to give you my papers.
And Mr. Barker, I did send, when you sent that to me, I did confirm the sheriff's department did receive it.
Thank you, sir.
I believe that does it for public hearing, or public speaking. We will move on to committee reports. I'll call upon the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order by committee. Starting with buildings department, legislature.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Building and Grounds Committee meeting scheduled for Monday, June 9th is canceled. Our next Building and Grounds Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, July 14th at 4:30.
Thank you very much. Children and Family Services Committee, legislative person.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Children and Family Services Committee met on Tuesday, June 3rd. Castine Peters, the Commissioner of the Department of Social Services, was present to discuss the resolution authorizing memorandum of understanding with Child Care Coordinating Council of the North Country. Ms. Peters also discussed Medicaid impacts due to federal legislation, family deportation issues, and monthly statistics. Resolution 403 has been placed on agenda based on the committee's recommendation. And we also discussed EVA, our AI phone answering system. We had a just demonstration. We asked her 3 different questions. I thought she did a fantastic job, and I think I speak for everybody on the committee that she did a good job. And it's only going to get better. The next Children and Family Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, July 1st at 5 o'clock. And the report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Economic Development, County Operations, Legislative Walden.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Economic Development and County Operations Committee met earlier. Shannon Thayer, the Planning Director, was present to discuss several resolutions, including authorizing the Planning Department to apply for the 2025-2026 Snowmobile Trail Program grant funding, approving amendments to the bylaws of the Lake Champlain Lake George Regional Planning Board, and approving appointment to the Saranac River Trail Greenway Incorporated Board of Directors. Molly Ryan, the Economic Development Director, was also present to discuss Clinton Community College property maintenance, the County of Clinton Industrial Development Agency, and the Clinton Business and Innovation Gateway. Resolutions 404 through 406 have been placed on the agenda based on the committee's recommendations. The next Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, July 16th at 3 p.m. And a report.
Thank you. Finance Committee, Legislator Timmons.
Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee met on Wednesday, June 4th. Kayla Gatile of Cornell Cooperative Extension presented the Public Energy Savings Program to the committee. Rebecca Murphy, the Deputy County Treasurer, was in attendance to discuss the 2025 sales tax charge, bond debt service, and interim foreclosure. All properties sold at the auction held on Tuesday, June 3rd, sold above their delinquent tax amount. Therefore, the resolution was withdrawn. The committee also discussed several resolutions, including authorizing memorandum of agreement with Casella Waste Management of New York, Inc., authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit a request for qualifications for an engineering consultant for the landfill leachate treatment system project, and amending policy guiding the expenditure by Clinton County of funds received with the tobacco settlement. Resolutions 407 through 413 have been placed on the agenda based on the committee's recommendation. The next Finance Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, July 2nd at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much. Health Committee, Legislator Pizzano.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee meeting scheduled for Wednesday, June 4th was canceled. Resolution 414 was pulled by the committee on Friday, June 6th. The next Health Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, July 2nd at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Human Services, Legislator Randall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Human Services Committee has not met since the last regular session. Resolutions 415 and 416 were called and have been placed on the agenda. The next Human Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, July 1st at 4:15 p.m.
Thank you very much. Personnel Committee met on Monday, June 2nd. Resolutions 417 through 443 have been placed on tonight's agenda based on the committee's recommendation. The next Personnel Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, July 8th at 5 p.m. Plattsburgh International Airport, Legislator Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Plattsburgh International Airport Committee has not met since the last regular session. The next Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, June 25th at 4 p.m. And let me just add to that, since this gentleman brought it up tonight, we have every politician, federal, state, local, yourself included, fighting for our EAS program. As of right now, we have not heard a word about getting rid of it or taking it away from us. And we will continue to fight and have our politicians, state and federal, work on it. End of report.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Public Safety, Legislator Castine.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Public Safety Committee met on Monday, June 2nd. Sheriff David Farber was in attendance to discuss two resolutions authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for 4 police vehicles and authorizing lease agreement with Crane Division Naval Surface Warfare Center. Jamie Rock, the Executive Director of Child Advocacy Center, was present to discuss the possible transfer of the mobile unit. Justin Meyer, the assigned council administrator, was also present to discuss the resolutions amending second statewide expansion of the Earl Herring grant acceptance and amending resolution 946 dated December 13th, 2023, titled amending resolution 411 dated May 24th, 2023, titled awarding request for proposals for family court legal services. Jamie Martineau, the public defender, was also in attendance to discuss the resolution authorizing payment of membership dues and authorizing contract with Language Line Services, Inc., phone and insight video interpreting. Resolutions 444 through 450 have been placed on the agenda based on the committee's recommendations. Because of the county fair opening on Monday, July 7th, our next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, July 8th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much. And the Transportation Committee, Legislator Cresser.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Transportation Committee met on Monday, June 9th. Shannon Thayer, the planning director, was present to discuss potential Clinton County public transit route changes and the progress of bus shelters. Carl Weiss, the highway superintendent, was also in attendance to discuss the resolutions authorizing New York State Department of Environmental Conservation's non-agricultural, non-point source planning and MS4 mapping grant acceptance, authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance 100% of the federal aid and state Marchicelli program aid eligible costs of the Transportation Federal Aid Project, and appropriating funds therefore, and authorizing contracts with Vicella. Mr. Weiss also discussed the funding of Sign Truck. Resolutions 451 through 453 have been placed on the agenda based on the committee's recommendation, and the next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, July 14th at 5:15 p.m. That's the end of the report.
Thank you very much. Liaison reports. Board of Health.
No report.
Chamber of Commerce, Legislator Cresser.
I do have a report. The Adirondack Coast Visitors Bureau highlights for this past month include Christy Kennedy. She attended the Adirondack Regional Tourism Council, and they gathered to discuss long-term goals, refine their mission, and outline future marketing strategies for the region and the organization. Regarding collateral and marketing and different campaigns, they've been working very diligently to continue to market to our Canadian visitors. They received a lot of calls and feedback about the campaign. In regards to Canadian media, they've been advertising on CBC National News, Business Insider, CBC Montreal Radio. Also, they have printed their 2025 travel guides, which are always a big hit for travelers to the region. And they've been working on updating some blog content, including interviews with Helen Nurska of the Clinton County Historical Association. They have been working on some new databases that will update, fine-tune content, and ensure accuracy and full functionality of the website, advertising our region. They've also been working with summer influencers who visited our area and who are doing campaigns by social media. They are working on the Adirondack Coast Cultural Alliance History Passport. And as far as groups and events and marketing, they are, let's see here, they're promoting a watercross event, which is upcoming, a number of different fishing tournaments. They're working with Cornell Agritourism Networking on an event which will take place at Ralph's Orchard and then they're working on the Major League Fishing tournament, which will be returning, as well as the Bassmaster Elite Series. They helped with a grand opening of a new campground, Shady Oaks. Also, U.S. figure skating will be returning to Lake Placid November 14th through the 16th. And the board is excited to host the event. And I think that's about it.
That's plenty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good community college.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as briefly discussed earlier in economic development, Molly Ryan and James Cleveland are researching how to maintain the building moving forward. So they're going to be reviewing contracts and such so that we can make a decision at a later time, you know, put feet on, mow the lawn, things like that. So we'll know more after next economic development.
Very good, thank you. Community Service Board, Legislature Castine.
No report this time.
Department of Extension, Legislator Dennis.
We will be meeting on the 24th, but everybody has one of these in front of you. It's actually a guide to the farmer's market and local foods. A lot of good information in there that we put out every year from Cornell to take a look at. And there's actually a few more copies out here in the office. And a report.
Grievance, Kim? Or actually, that was just for the review. Grievance as well? Okay. Intercounty, Legislator Ryan.
We haven't met since the last one, so
Right.
I'll keep you.
LCLG, Regional Planning, Legislator Randall Lingard Kretzer.
I guess the only update that I can provide is that the Lake Champlain Lake George Regional Planning Board has updated bylaws. Some of it was just modern language. Others had to do with term limits of board members and such. Each of the counties that work with the Lake Champlain or Lake George Regional Planning Board must pass a resolution accepting those amended bylaws. And I believe that that's on the agenda for this evening.
Soil and Water, Legislator Zion Tibbetts.
We have not met since our last regular meeting. We'll be meeting June 19th at 5 at the County Soil and Water Office. And the report.
That'll do it. Workforce Development, Legislator Correa.
No report.
Staff members, Ms. Keller.
I'd like to request a brief executive session regarding the resolution of potential litigation.
Very good, thank you. And Mr. Durrell.
Three things, Chairman. None of them long, but hot off the press at 5 p.m. today, we did receive notification that we are in fact on the Public Health and Health Planning Council agenda in New York City next Tuesday. So Jackie Pelliver and I will be going to New York City and hopefully bringing back some good news to the legislature. Very positive that. Secondly, I want to remind everybody, I know that you've received an email that the interviews for county administrator are next Monday, June 16th, one starting at 3 and one starting at 4. That is a personnel committee, but of course, every legislator is invited to attend and participate in that meeting. So that is Monday. And lastly, I think Molly also reported to everybody, but the IDA meeting that was scheduled for Monday is now on the 30th of June, facilitating some schedules of some IDA board members. That's all I have for you, sir.
Very good, thank you. Excuse me. Before voting on the resolutions, I want to note that the majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action tonight based in large part on the recommendations of those committees. Mr. Goodall, would you please read the title of the resolutions to accurately?
Certainly. Resolution number 402, authorizing the clerk of the Clinton County Legislature to advertise for a public hearing on local law number 1 of 2025 titled Regulating the Outdoor Restraint of Dogs in Clinton County.
I have a motion. Motion by Legislator Hall, second by Legislator Mulder.
Yep.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
To my colleagues, for the last, I think Jennifer said it, 9 months, I'm not exactly sure about that. We have tried very hard to talk every one of you into changing your vote or voting in our way for the tether law because we really believe in it. I believe in it very strongly. But tonight's vote doesn't have anything to do with the tether law. Tonight's vote is strictly telling these people, all of these people in Clinton County, that they have a right to be heard and to come here and say their mind if they want it. When we start voting against telling people they can't come here and vote or talk to us and tell us their problems, then we might as well not be here. I see no reason for a no vote on this item tonight. You can vote no on the tether law. I can't change your mind. I've tried for the ones that are going to stick to it. But to tell people that they can't come here and tell us their problems and speak on what they want to talk to us about is totally wrong. And that's what this vote is about tonight. So I ask my colleagues to vote in favor of this, hear the people out, and vote your convictions. If you don't want to vote for it, don't vote for it. But let's hear the people. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I actually would recommend that, or I would ask if we could please have a roll call vote on this.
Sure.
And also, just a reminder, yes, when we tried this before, we had 2 members absent. We're gonna try this again, but this is truly just allowing the public to be heard. As was said earlier, we have never denied a public hearing in Clinton County's history. So I'm not sure what the sticking point is, but the public deserve to be heard. And then if people want to cast their votes one way or the other, if we have a hearing, then that's fine. But I see no reason why we should deny the public to be heard. And in our roll call, I would love to know why if somebody is a no. That being said, I would make a motion to have a roll call vote.
Okay.
Second.
Well, we have 2 motions. One is, we want to incorporate that.
Yes.
Legislator Jones.
Yeah, I just want to say, this law that we have was only created at our level was because some of the towns were thought to not have the finances to do it themselves. So we decided at the county level to create a law that the towns could use as a template. And that would be the law that we now are looking at passing for a public hearing. Now, this not even law yet has had more public hearing and comments on it than any other public law that we have passed in the last 9 years that I've been here. So to say that we need more public hearing on it, and that they didn't get their public comments and ability to put it out there is wrong, because they've had comments, and a lot of public comments. Now, the other thing that people do not understand, my vote is because I don't think this law belongs at the county level. It belongs to be at the towns. The town dog control officers are the ones that are going to support and do the supporting of this law. They are the ones should be doing the law that fits their dog control officers. I believe it just needs to be at the town. Now, it's even at the state right now. So to have the state then maybe pass it soon, and then the county would have a law, then some of the towns would have a law, I think it's not appropriate for us to do it at the county law. I'm not against the law. I'm not against tether. I've had dogs. I've had 2 homes where I've installed my own invisible fencing because I believe my dogs want to run. So I'm not against the law. I'm against the county passing this law and not doing it at the town levels. And I'm telling you right now, you want a roll call vote? I'll go first. I'm a no.
For the public hearing.
Well, we'll do it in order and we'll get to you, but, okay. You vote now, I gotta go next.
Okay.
Kevin,
Have our comments during the roll call, or do you want them now?
whatever you want to do. We can do it during a roll call if you want, because we're about to start the roll call if you want to wait, it's up to you.
Okay, that's fine.
Anyone else? Okay. Mr. Zerlo, would you conduct a roll call vote?
Roll call vote, resolution 402 of 2025. Mr. Castine.
I vote the same as it was in October. I see no problem with having a public hearing, so I'm voting yes on the public hearing.
Mr. Perrier.
First of all, I'm on the Public Safety Committee. After over a year and 3 meetings a month, listening to the pros and cons of a local law, I believe that a public hearing will not add any information to what I've heard in the past several months. I also believe it's time to put this at rest and let the towns decide what they want to do. I am responsible for 5 towns, and none of them want it. And I personally contacted every town board in the beginning of this, like we were supposed to, and none of them wanted it. All right? I was elected to represent my towns. My towns don't want it, so my vote is no.
Mr. Henry.
No.
Mr. Bizzio.
My opinion is that Jen has had a lot of success at the town and the village level, and that she should continue to work on that success by going to the towns and the villages, and the city. So my vote is no.
Mr. Randall.
No, so we're out.
My vote is no also. Here's my explanation. First of all, I agree that every law or every time a body wants to initiate a law, it should come to the public.
Yep, screw it.
The problem is that we do not have a consensus at this time. So this goes out to me, and it's recommended before, then at that time, I would say, yes, go forward with a public hearing. Also, the local law is very inclusive. It needs to be pared down a little bit to remain the same. I also agree that this should be at the town level. Each town has the ability to pass a animal control or a dog leash law. Many of them are starting. Town of Plattsburgh already did theirs, which I represent. Town of Crew does not want one. And the town of Scholar Falls, I haven't heard anything from the town board that they are willing to move forward, or that they don't like the law that was written by the county. They have the ability to pass that law. Again, I believe that it should be at the town level, and I believe there should be a public hearing, but only after we have a consensus that we are moving forward with this as a law. Because to do that prior, we have listened and listened and listened. We know that there are many people that take time out of their day to come here and to preach to have this law in place. Unfortunately, we do have a small portion of the population that doesn't do the right thing, and that's why you're all here. I get it. But when we're passing a law for 80,000 people in Clinton County, we want to make sure that we get it right.
I would have liked some feedback on this law when we're writing it.
Ms. Waldron, Ms. Waldron.
Obviously, I vote yes on a public hearing. This wasn't the tether law that we're voting on. It was a public hearing. I'm a little disappointed, and I'm sorry, Mike, to put us all through this, but I really thought we could get 6. Anyway, I'm a yes.
Mr. Timmons.
No.
Mr. Lemoy.
Yes.
Mr. Kretzer.
Just regarding the public hearing, I echo the comments from Legislator Waldron and Hall, and I vote yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes, and let me just say this. I am very shocked and surprised. And to tell people that they can't come here and speak, that's wrong, guys. I'm very disappointed.
The vote on resolution 402 fails, a 5-5 vote, 6 is required.
Wow.
Resolution 403, authorizing memorandum
Folks
of...
should be
Yep.
ashamed of yourself.
Yes, you should be. I agree 100%.
Memorandum of understanding with Child Care Coordinating Council of North Country Social Services.
Motion, legislator Perrier, second, legislator Lemoy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Resolution number 404, authorizing the planning department to apply for 2025 and 2026 snowmobile trail program grant funding planning department.
Motion, legislator Waldron, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 405, approving amendments to the bylaws of Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board Legislature.
Motion, legislator Waldron, second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 406, approving appointment to the Saranac River Trail Greenway Incorporated Board of Directors Legislature.
Ms. Legislator Waldron, 5-5?
Yes, please.
5-5. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 407, amending Resolution 230 dated April 9, 2025, titled Authorizing Contract Amendment with Casella Waste Management of New York Incorporated Purchasing Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Zia. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 408, authorizing memorandum of agreement with Casella Waste Management of New York Incorporated Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Randall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 409, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit a request for qualifications for an engineering consultant for the landfill leachate treatment system project Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Lemoy. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 410, authorizing contract with Vineski and Company Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 411, amending policy guiding the expenditure by Clinton County of funds received through the tobacco settlement Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Bazile. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 412, opposing proposed New York State Senate Bill 6530 and Assembly Bill 6928, which would limit herd size of New York dairy farms.
I'd like to put the motion out there. I'd like a second. I propose a motion, second by legislator Timmons. Discussion. I'd just like to say in the however many years, this is one of the most short-sighted, ill-conceived foolish propositions I've seen from the New York State Legislature to limit the size of these dairy groups. It makes no sense at all, especially in our area. But I can't imagine anywhere where it would make any sense. So,
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
Can I also?
Yes, sir,
say
go
that?
ahead.
I have a very large 3,000, 4,000
Yes, you do.
cattle farm in my district and employs a lot of people and produces a lot of milk, so yeah, I'd like to be on.
Okay. We can do 5-5. Is everybody okay with 5-5? We can do that. All right. Any further discussion? I didn't mean to interrupt anybody. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 413, authorizing a cooperative purchase agreement, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 414, authorizing contract with Aaron Spees, MD, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Bazile. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Walden?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 415, authorizing payment of membership dues, Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Randall. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Walden?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 416, authorizing contract amendment with the Research Foundation of the State University of New York, Northeastern New York Alzheimer's Disease Assistance Center, Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Randall. Second, legislator Lemoyne. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Walden?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 417, approving backfill of permanent full-time correction officer, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 418, approving reclassification of a permanent full-time registered professional nurse position up to a permanent full-time jail staff nurse position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 419, approving reclassification of a vacant permanent full-time registered professional nurse position up to a permanent full-time jail staff nurse position with backfill, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 420, approving reclassification of a vacant permanent part-time registered professional nurse position up to a permanent part-time jail staff nurse position with backfill, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 421, approving reclassification of a vacant permanent full-time registered professional nurse position down to a permanent full-time licensed practical nurse position with backfill, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Henry. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 422, authorizing backfill of permanent full-time cook nursing home.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 423, approving the backfill of a permanent full-time dietary attendant position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I'm sorry.
I don't know where we ended that. Do we vote?
Read the title again.
Resolution 423, approving backfill of permanent full-time dietary attendant position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I think we got that.
Resolution, probably twice.
I think we
Resolution
did.
424, approving backfill of permanent full-time cook position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 425, approving backfill of permanent full-time clerk, social services.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 426, approving backfill of permanent full-time social welfare examiner position, social services.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 427, approving the creation of a permanent full-time clerk position, social services.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Kretzer, discussion.
Just very briefly, those of you not on personnel, this is not an additional FTE, this is one of those placeholder resolutions.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 428, approving the creation of a permanent full-time family support worker position, social services.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Timmons, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 429, approving the backfill of a permanent full-time assistant public defender position, public defender's office.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 430, approving the backfill of a permanent full-time assistant public defender, public defender's office.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 431, approving the creation of a permanent full-time assistant public defender position, public defender's office.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Kretzer, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 432, approving the creation of a full-time typist position, public defender.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Timmons, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 433, approving the backfill of a full-time motor equipment operator 1, highway department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 434, approving reclassification of a permanent full-time messenger position to a permanent full-time central services clerk, central store.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 435, approving backfill of a permanent full-time fiscal officer position, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Kretzer, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 436, approving backfill of a permanent full-time senior account clerk typist, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Timmons, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 437, approving the backfill of a permanent full-time project coordinator position, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hall, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
On that resolution, Chairman, I just want to let everybody know on the Personnel Committee that it does incorporate, the discussion that we had in committee.
Not entirely.
Entire,
No.
it's in there, trust me.
Well, it's a good idea. We need to do that.
Yes.
Did we vote? Yes, we did. Carried.
Resolution number 438, approving backfill of permanent full-time mental health clinician 1, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Kretzer, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 439, approving backfill of permanent full-time account clerk typist, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Timmons, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 440, approving backfill of permanent full-time social worker 1, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 441, approving backfill of a permanent full-time principal clerk typist position, health department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 442, approving backfill of a permanent full-time public health educator position, health department.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Kretzer, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 443, approving the backfill of a permanent full-time children's services program specialist position, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 444, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for 4 police vehicles, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 445, authorizing lease agreement with Crane Divisional Naval Surface Warfare Center, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion.
And just for those in the audience, those aren't nuclear secrets, just getting night vision goggles.
I'll sleep better.
Any further discussion?
Actually, just renting them.
Renting
Don't
them.
even own them. Yes.
I used to need night vision goggles, but now I don't stay up that late, so I don't need any. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Good. All in favor? Left that part out? No.
No.
Anybody else? Roll call.
You were right. Resolution 446. Resolution 446, authorizing contract with Language Line Services Incorporated, phone and insight video interpreting, public defender.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 447, authorizing payment of membership dues, public defender.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 448, amending second statewide expansion of the Hurl Herring Grant acceptance, assigned counsel, public defender.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 449, approving grant application submission and acceptance of New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services grant known as distribution number 13, signed council.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 450, amending resolution 946 dated December 13, 2023, titled amending resolution 411 dated May 24, 2023, titled awarding requests for proposals for family court legal services, assigned counsel, legislature.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 451, authorizing New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, non-agricultural, non-point source planning, and MS4 mapping, grant acceptance, highway department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Bazile. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution number 452, authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance, 100% of a federal aid and state Marchicelli program aid eligible costs of a transportation federal aid project and appropriating funds therefore, highway department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Lemoyne. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 453, authorizing contract with Visala Incorporated, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Randall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 454, authorizing the deputy county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for insurance reimbursement, sheriff's department.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 455, authorizing the deputy county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Summer Youth Employment Program, social services.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 456, approving appointment to the Clinton, Essex, and Franklin Library Board, legislature.
5-5. Aye. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 457, approving appointment to the Clinton Community College Board of Trustees, Clinton Community College.
Again, 5-5. 5-5. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Seeing nothing else, I'd take a motion to go into executive session. Motion by legislator Pizzato, second by legislator Hall. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We'll go into legislative session. Now we'll get you back out. 6:30. Coming out of executive session.
Motion to adjourn, Chairman.
I have a motion to adjourn. I have a second to adjourn. Any discussion on adjournment?
Who was the second, sir?
Mr. Courier. Any discussion on adjournment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We are adjourned. Thank you all.